I was bleeding out on the last bag. They told my parents, this is the last bag of blood that we have. If he doesn't stop bleeding out, there's nothing else we can do for him. We were going about 130 miles an hour. I don't remember any of it. We flipped end over end for a football field and a half. You get to make a decision today that's going to put you on the path to start changing your life right now.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast where transformation is real and purpose is activated. You guys, we have a treat today. We have Christian Struthers, and this story is going to shift you like no other. This guy has seen adversity and the resilience that's coming out of this man. It's so amazing. What took him from a devastating accident, and he'll tell you all about it, and was told that he'll never walk again. Spoiler alert. It's amazing what he came out of, and I can't wait for you guys to hear him. So today, guys, lock in, get ready, get comfortable, and get inspired, and know that you can overcome any adversity in your life. I welcome Christian Struthers.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited for this opportunity.
Awesome. Awesome. So glad to have you. Christian, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your background before we go into your story?
Yes. So I grew up playing baseball. We were in Northern California. I'm in Bozeman, Montana right now, but we were in Northern California. I played college baseball, had scholarships. That's about when things started going a little sideways. I started getting into the partying and just your normal college parties and drinking. And so then after that, that was about 2010, 2011. After that, I was blessed enough. I ended up quitting. I got in a fight with the dean and quit and walked out, threw my
Wow.
dream away for partying. Didn't even know that that was going to be my last day playing baseball. I just woke up, and so that's when it really kind of started going downhill. But at the time, I didn't know because I always just jumped from one fun thing to the next. So I got done with baseball and I ended up getting a job doing mud runs and color runs. And so I
What?
was, yeah, I did 5K kind of with the obstacle courses and everything like that. So we got to travel all over the country. I partied hard. Alcohol turned into pills. One pill turned into
Wow.
two. Two turned into three. Four turned into five, and then washed it down with a little bit of my friend Jack and a little Jack Daniels. It was a buildup of partying.
Mm.
I traveled all over. I was the hype man. Crazier I was, more money I made, and I just
Oh, wow.
didn't turn that off. I came home and I'd do the same thing, and anything and everything under the sun I would participate in. I would do. So that's kind of how
Okay.
it started building up. And
So it was just from a life of fun, parties, being
yeah,
a typical college kid.
I've always had this very supportive family. My family's always been there for me. It's not
Wow.
like I grew up in necessarily the worst community. I grew up right outside of Sacramento.
Mhm.
So there was some rough areas, but I definitely had to go find that area and find those parties and find those people. It was just more fun to me. And it was a better time than anything else. So
Okay. Okay. Well, take us back. What year was this when this happened that significantly changed your life?
So it happened in 2016,
Okay.
August 3rd of 2016. It was years of doing it. I had crashed a rental car in Oklahoma. We were drinking and driving. I had got a DUI about a year prior to that. It was just the lessons. I was not learning the lessons that were being put in front of me, and they gradually got worse and worse until 2016, August 3rd. I was the passenger, and we were drinking and driving here in Montana, and we were going about 130 miles an hour.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. That your story is huge, and I know people are tuning in right now. So, what lessons are you talking about in 2013 that you're talking about that it also showed up in 2016? Was it just like drinking, driving, crashing?
Drinking, driving, being crazy. If you tell me not to do something, I'm gonna go do it twice. I'm gonna take pictures. Those things were happening. I threw my baseball dream away just because the dean said I couldn't drink in college when I turned 21. I was 20 years old. I was already
Right.
thinking about the next fun thing. I had crashed other cars where I wasn't necessarily impaired, but I had crashed and I just always got another car. Nothing really. I didn't get hurt. I walked away from it. I thought I was
Wow.
invincible, and I think
Okay.
I've crashed about 4 or 5 cars, rolled 3 cars type of deal. Never any real consequences to what I was doing. I never realized that this was a lesson that, hey, maybe you should cool it down and just think. I always say that too, like just think before you do something. I'm not telling anyone not to do things. Experience life. Go have fun. But just think, is this gonna help me get towards my life or my goals in life? I never thought about that. Clearly, I quit baseball and without even thinking about it, like this probably isn't going to help me become a major league baseball player if I walk out right now.
I just want to take a moment here to make sure that our viewers, including myself, like this is such good gems so far that, you know, the pattern that we have or the habits we have, it doesn't have to be something so climatic, like something so drastic. Like those signs were already there. So we
Mhm.
all can apply this right now in our lives. Like, if we're already on a trajectory of something that's not good, eventually we'll get to a place like don't push the limits, I guess. That's
Right.
the
And no matter how far down or deep down you
yeah.
are, how depressed you are, just know that you are one small decision away from changing your life.
Whoa.
And you have that
Whoa.
power to do that today, right now. Right now. If
Wow.
just get down, and if you haven't worked out and you want to work out, get down and do 1 push-up, do 2 push-ups. That's better than what you just than yesterday. You're already training your mind to do that. If as small as tell yourself you're going to touch the wall and touch the wall. Those are those little things of training when you tell your mind to do something and then you do it. Like those, your mind picks that up and it'll snowball into bigger decisions
Wow.
and bigger things.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Coach here. This is awesome. So the accident happened, you crashed. You were the driver or were you
I was
just
the passenger. The
you were
driver
the
did not
passenger?
wasn't wearing his seatbelt and he got ejected and didn't survive.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Buckle up,
And
kids. Buckle up. Yes.
oh my
That
gosh.
saved my life.
Let me go ahead and show the actual viewers. We are seeing live pictures. This is his website, christianstruthers.com. And Christian, I'm looking at the pictures. This is
Yeah.
scary. So to my left is, okay, walk me through this. So what happened?
So that was like I said, 2016, August 3rd. We were
Oh,
on the highway and we tried to pass a car. We ended up going into the center divide. We were going about 130 miles an hour. I don't remember any of it. I woke up in a hospital a week later. The witnesses were saying that we were passing them as if they were standing still, and the speed limit here is 80 miles an hour.
oh my
So
God.
we went into the center divide. We flipped end over end for a football field and a half, they said. And then when the car finally landed, it landed on its driver's side window, and I was in the passenger seat and my legs were actually hanging out the window and it landed on me and I was bent backwards. So as we're sitting, when you sit down, your legs are in front of you at a 90-degree angles. My legs were actually backwards at a 90-degree angle. And they said that the seatbelt was choking me out and I would have not survived that. But witnesses say someone came from afar, cut my seatbelt, and then disappeared back into the crowd. To this day, we still don't know who that was. I believe that was my guardian
Whoa.
angel. They said that saved my
Wow.
life. They life flighted me. It was about 2 hours away. They life flighted me to that hospital. I broke my neck, 2 strokes, shattered my pelvis, or broke my pelvis in three different ways where I was bleeding out internally. They show my pelvis x-rays at conferences now saying that they've never really seen anyone. There's only a handful of people in the world that have survived a pelvic fracture like that because it had severed a major artery there.
Huh.
And when I had chipped my neck or broke my neck, that's what severed an artery in my neck, and that's what caused the 2 strokes. And that was my mom finding me in the hospital. They didn't know where I was, and so
Oh,
they had to look up. And from my past life, my mom had sadly gotten used to looking into hospitals or looking at jail logs when I didn't show up from where I was going out at night. So they had to find me. I was a John Doe. They couldn't identify me with
my
my
God.
ID, and so they
Wow.
they found me, and I said I woke up about a week later in the hospital. I had 17 major injuries. Turned into a blessing. It was a rough moment,
Um,
but it was one of the best things that ever happened to me.
oh my gosh. So what did the doctors say after having 17 injuries on you? And was it like life altering? You'll never walk again? What?
They didn't know at the time because I was in a coma for about 6, 7 days. And
Oh my
so when I
gosh.
finally woke up, the right side of my body wasn't working. I still can't see out of my right eye from the two strokes. They didn't know if my pelvis would be able to hold my weight ever again, so they thought I would just
Wow.
be in a wheelchair. They were trying to teach me how to write left-handed because they told me my right hand would never come back, my right arm would never be able to work again. So yeah, there was even a scarier moment when they were telling my parents, you might start have to think about what the next steps are. There's a good chance he won't survive this. Like you have to think about the next what life looks like if he's gone, So
Oh my
went all the way
gosh.
from that to you're never gonna walk again. I had to learn how to sit again. I don't know if people know that, but sitting is a talent that we have. It's a skill that you have to
Interesting.
learn. It was bad. I was about 115 pounds when I got out of the hospital.
My
I'm 6 foot.
gosh.
I went into the hospital at about 200 pounds and came out at about
Oh,
115.
because you couldn't eat.
I couldn't eat. I wouldn't eat.
Oh my
There's,
gosh.
they said I had, and I didn't even know this was a thing, but I
Mm.
had rotting syndrome, where they said my body was just literally rotting away. And I heard that, I'm like, wait, what? Like,
Oh
so
my gosh.
it was, it was
Okay.
definitely odds were sticking up against me, and then to hear professionals say in
Right.
their professional opinion, like you're not going to be able to do this. That was a hard one for me to say, "Hi, watch me." What? Go ahead, and
Well,
I'll do it. And I was just stubborn. The physical therapist tried to come in and teach me how to write left-handed. I just wouldn't do it. I was like, "No, my arm's coming back."
to be honest, like oh my gosh, I can't imagine what your family had to go through. And then you going through that, like what amazing. I can't believe you're like moving around. You're
Yeah,
okay. You're
yeah,
sitting, what a
yeah.
miracle. How did you not play the victim?
Even in the hospital, that's the funny thing, right? Because usually after brain injuries, they see a lot where
Yes.
people either get really loopy or go lucky and happy, or
Yeah.
really depressed and almost violent at times. And I
Right.
was always so happy. And the doctors would always ask, like, yo, like, ask my mom, like, was he always this? Or is this like the drugs or what? And my mom's like, no, that's him. Not letting anybody tell you can't do something.
Come
That's
on.
that's my no matter what, we are amazing. Humans are amazing. Our bodies are amazing.
Mm,
Our minds are so powerful. The powerness of prayer is amazing. And I had
yes.
so many people praying for me.
Wow.
I also believe in manifestation, but I always think my controversial thing is manifestation's prayer.
Come on. Let's
Everyone
go.
always wants to argue, go back and forth, and I'm like, guys, you're saying the same thing. Like it's prayer. That was my big thing, and my
Wow.
secret is a dog as well. So when I was
Come
coming
on.
out of the coma, my parents didn't know what I could hear, what I couldn't hear, and they promised me a dog. They said, if you make it, if you survive, we'll get you a dog. And weird, it's the only thing I remember coming out of the coma when I was in ICU.
Wow.
And so 2 months later, we got my German Shepherd Millie, and she was supposed to be my service dog, but she turned into a princess, and I healed up a lot better than I was supposed to. So she was a huge part of that. I remember sitting in my wheelchair, and she'd be pouncing at me as a puppy and wanting to play, and I would be trying to lift up. I'd be trying to, okay, Millie, I want to play with you. And that was my first movements and my first acts of standing
Wow.
up. And so that was really my secret. On the darkest days, she would come curl up to me, and when I didn't want to get out of bed, she would come, and either from going to the bathroom that she had to go to the bathroom, I'd have to get on, wheel over, and get her to the bathroom or whatever it was. And so she was my light. She helped me.
Wow. That is so cool. So you were able to hear all of this devastating news. Within our audience, we have people that have got a lot of setbacks in health, maybe
Mhm.
their family members as well. So were you ever hopeless? So Millie got you out of it. We know that the dog was able to nurse you back to health and
Mhm.
give you joy again. But
Mhm.
tell me the darkest days and what's this shift in mindset so that people understand like he's not just the extraordinary. Like,
No, no, no. I'm human. I'm human. We all
okay,
get really, really dark, and we have down days, and that's why I tell people like, you don't necessarily get in a car going 130, drinking, doing all the drugs that I did. I was having the time of my life, I thought, but I was empty
mm,
inside. I was empty. You
mm,
don't get in
yeah,
those situations because you necessarily want to live or love life. I didn't care. I didn't care
wow,
about life. I didn't
wow,
I put myself in those situations all the time. That was how
mhm,
it just built up more and more. Those days and being down like that, yeah, it got to the point where a lot of times we said that we've cried too much. And everyone's like, oh, you smile so much. And it's like, yeah, I'm tired of crying. And
come
I
on,
just kept waking up. I just kept waking up, and one day kept going to physical therapy, even when I didn't want to, and that was it's kind of who I am. I think that's a great, and everyone can be that. Everyone just keep waking up. You don't have to make a drastic
yeah,
change, and I didn't
wow,
know this necessarily at the time, but I would look back after a couple days or a week, and I'd be like, wow, whoa, okay, like there is going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. I couldn't see it some days I was uncertain about it. I was
yeah,
depressed. I got off the pain pills pretty quick because of my history. I knew that I couldn't rely on pain pills. So a lot of that, I had no pain pills. I was in crazy pain, and it was just one step at a time, one foot in front of the
wow.
next, and just keep going. Like, you guys got this. You guys are amazing.
So that was your focus, is to wake up, just to wake
Just
up
wake up.
and
Just to
just wake
wake
up.
up.
It sounds like your family was
Uh,
incredibly there
uh,
for you.
Amazing. My mom had
Wow.
just moved up to Montana. She was in Montana for 2 weeks. And then every
Mhm.
day when I woke up in the hospital, she was there. For 2.5 months, she
Wow.
was there in the hospital, put everything on hold. My dad would go to work. He would drive 2 hours to go to work. He would come back and visit me in the hospital as much as he could, and almost daily. My sister, she was in college. She ended up coming back home and helping. It was Without that, I was very blessed. I am very blessed to have my family. My family was amazing, and I know not everyone has a family that's close, and that's
Mhm.
hard. And then that's
Mhm.
why I go back to the dog. Get a dog. They can also be your support system, and they don't care what you've been through. They don't care what you did in your past. They just know who you are right there today, and they will help you move forward and become a better person.
Wow, that is so powerful. I mean, Millie was in a service animal. I actually have a friend who recovered from a lot of things in trauma, and that service animal is amazing. So yeah, I totally get you.
That's
So you were told that you weren't going to be able to use your right hand, you were not going to walk again,
yeah,
right? Walk us through that. Like, okay, so what was the first little thing that you started to do? Like, you went through rehab, but
yeah.
how did you know that you were going to defy all odds?
The mindset of I get to go to physical therapy. I was going about 3 to 4 times a week. I remember
Wow.
my physical therapist, that the clam workout where you do with your legs. He had to
Huh?
help
Uh-huh.
me. I couldn't even lift my legs up. He would have to help
Mm,
me with that. I
wow.
had no muscle in my legs. We just got after it. I just kept going. Then there were some days where I didn't want to go, and there's even some days I didn't go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I kept moving forward, and I said, and not listen. I have a hard time with rules and whatnot. So when somebody, they told me, oh, well, we'll check in 3 months if you can stand again. And your body, you know how it feels. And so I was very in tune with my body. And so that's a lot where I just start to push up off my wheelchair. When my mom wasn't around either,
Whoa.
I was by myself. I would just try to push up off my wheelchair and just taking it slow like that. And then finally, one doctor's appointment, they told me I could, and I had a walker. I was in a walker, and I couldn't walk for long.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
15 steps at a time. I had to, and I'd sit down and be in the wheelchair, and just slowly, still blessing and a curse, pushing the limits, just a little bit more and more, but with a more thoughtfulness to it is what I did. So
And I see it on your website about, having faith. Is,
mhm.
does this have a lot to do with it? This miracle right here?
Yes, and it got me close. I've always been a Christian. We wasn't unfamiliar with church. It's not like we went every Sunday. It's not, I wasn't necessarily like that, but I did believe. I just wasn't close. My
Yeah.
relationship with God wasn't necessarily a close relationship. And I'm still working on it. I'm still human and we still go back and forth, but I know again, how do you explain the seatbelt?
Come
Somebody
on,
came from
yes.
afar and that saved my life. On the last bag of blood that they had, because I think I'm O positive or O negative, I'm the one where I can give out to everybody, but I can only receive my own blood.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh.
I was bleeding out on the last bag. They told my parents, this is the last bag of blood that we have. If he doesn't stop bleeding out, there's nothing else we can do for him. On that last bag, I stopped bleeding out. And even the small things now, it just makes me closer and believe. And I was getting prayer cards. I was in a prayer chain in my church, and I was getting cards from people overseas that were on missions that said they had heard about me and that they're praying for me. And so I'm a huge believer in manifestation, prayer, whatever you want to call it. It's the act of speaking to Him, speaking to God.
I just want to put a personal story here with you.
Yeah.
I almost died too. I gave
Wow.
birth to my second child, and they said that if I didn't get scheduled, I was scheduled to go. They said if I gave birth on the side of the road, I would have died because I bled out 3 pints, 3.5 pints. And yeah, I told them nothing was normal about this. And I guess I had a cervical laceration. So, she cut through my main artery.
Okay.
And yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
everybody prayed and their
Mhm.
mama, and I was a walking miracle too. So I understand, like, God
Right.
definitely does that.
And even from everyone looks back and it's perspective. I thought I had
Mm,
the most fun of my life before,
right.
but I wasn't connected. I wasn't fulfilled in my heart. I
Yes.
and then the other and so but now the crash has turned into a blessing.
Come on.
It's the
Wow.
biggest and best thing. Was so scared that I was again never gonna walk. I was a very active person. I was like, no way, there's no way life can get good again being after this crash. And now I know and I feel that this is the my best life. This is the best opportunities that I have. I get to help people, talk to people, and that's fulfilling. That's fun to me now. That is so it's been amazing, and that's why I say it's a blessing. And a lot of people are, oh my God, and it's like no, that was the best thing that could have happened to me. He did that. I had shaken baby syndrome at the age of 26. They said that it shook me like an infant. And I believe that was God saying, listen, like, he had so many other, he gradually was trying to teach me these lessons, and each one gradually got worse and worse. But I was still, whatever, I'm out here, I'm having fun. And so I swear he picked me up and shook me and said, you better listen to me. And I said, yes, sir. I'm listening now.
Let's take a listen out of your book. What can you tell viewers now that we heard your story? We heard how Millie also was a companion of yours and became also a catalyst for you to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
What tips do you want to give people that they're going the roughest patch in their life? They feel like they want to give up, Christian. Like, I know you're a motivational speaker. Please inspire away.
Yes. So we'll start with I get to. I get to. I want everyone to say it. I get to. Get a little grit in it too.
Mm,
I get to. You got to switch your mindset. Now I'm not necessarily one that I feel like I can give advice, but I can tell you my story, what I went
mm,
through, and you can learn from me. I've seen it in others. I've seen other people go down that same path, and you're one decision away from completely changing your life. It doesn't matter. Your past is not you. That is not who you are. It's what you've done, and that'll always be there. And now you've learned. So you get to make a decision today that's going to put you on the path to start changing your life. Right now, you can get to if you're addicted to drugs. It's okay. It's not the best thing. It's not great. It's not, but you can come back from it. Try to go an extra hour without doing it, and
Wow.
give yourself credit for that. That's a win. Don't beat yourself up. And just like God, try to give yourself some grace. That was my biggest thing when I started quitting drugs was I would go for a day, go for 24 hours, and then I would do the drugs again. And I would just beat myself up so bad because I told myself I was going to quit and I didn't do it. So I'd beat myself up and then I would just slide down the hill again. And so know that that's okay. You did good. You made it 12 hours. You made it an hour. You made it 30 minutes. You are on the path. That right there was one decision to get
Wow.
you closer to your dreams, to get you closer to your goal. So go ahead, give yourself some credit for that. Celebrate that. And now do better tomorrow. Do better this next hour. Do better this next 2 hours. That's what it is, and you got this. You guys got this. We have a community here. I know you're here, and we got this community. You have people out there that have gone through similar things. You're not alone. You can do it, and we can help. We're here to help.
Okay, and speaking of community, nice plug in, my friend. I will put it in on the description box. You'll see, but and you guys can go to christianstruthers.com. I'll post a link for you guys. Everybody that wants to book with Christian, make sure that you guys fill out the form. He's an incredible speaker, as you guys know it. We can get schools if you want him to come out at schools, right? Is it high
Yeah,
school only? All schools? What?
all schools. I'll talk to everyone. We're all
Okay.
struggling from all ages, and
Yes.
so I can definitely talk to everyone and anyone.
He's doing other speaking engagements. I believe he's doing things for businesses along with hospitals. So he's your guy. This is a walking miracle. And as you guys can see, he's an amazing speaker. He has a YouTube channel, guys. I'll also post that link for you guys. It's called Dog Dash. Is that
Yep, yep,
Dog?
Darson.
And
That's
tell us a little bit more about it.
Dog Dash, that's how. So I wanted to celebrate Millie. I started with, I had an event background. I knew how to do events. And so our first Dog Dash was to celebrate Millie because I was just I loved her. She was amazing. And so I started an event. We have doggy ice cream eating contest. We have costume contest, a 3K obstacle course. And after the first event, I realized that it was so much bigger than just us, and that's when I was really wanted to start connecting people with animal shelters to rescue dogs, and really have the people be able to get a dog because I knew how much it helped me. I wanted other people to have that. So then it turned into we donate back to 100% of profits go back to local animal shelters for whatever
Wow.
city we're in. We donate back to them. I share my story at the events. We have vendors come out. It's just everything dogs love, dog toys, dog treats, and it's a great time for the dogs and to celebrate dogs and what they do for us and with us.
Awesome, you guys. And if you guys are booking with him, make sure you send them that TeamX sent you guys, all right? The podcast does.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right, so let's get back into what you were saying. You talked about you get to.
That's right.
I think that's your tagline, man. That's your
Yep.
brand right there.
That's me.
Um, I love that. Why it was that so important that I love what you're saying because I for me that would mean it's for me, not against me, so already you're seeing it with gratitude, like you got another day. So why is that important for healing, for taking the next step? I see in my work line of business, people do beat themselves up and they'll wallow in depression because they feel like they don't deserve another chance or this is as good as it got and
Yeah.
that's it.
It's kind of become a joke in our family, and not a joke. It is not a joke, but it's a even with like depression, just saying I get to be depressed.
Oh
I'll say it
snap.
with a little tone sarcastically, but you're like, ah, dude, I get to be depressed today. Because again, then you
Oh,
start thinking like, whoa, I'm alive. I get to be depressed today, and I get to be happy tomorrow. And it came from me because there was a time like I couldn't even sit up on my own, where I had to have people behind me actually helping me, trying, hands on my back, helping me sit. So from the smallest things, I get to sit up. I get to do chores. There was a time
yeah.
where I couldn't even wash the dishes. I couldn't go to the grocery store. I couldn't do my own laundry. I couldn't go to the bathroom by myself. And so now I get to go to the bathroom, and you take those little things for granted, But
Yes.
when you're in bed for 2 months and all of a sudden you're looking around and you haven't done anything, now you're like, ah man, I wish I could do the dishes. I wish I could help, or I wish I could do this. And so to work towards those, and then it starts snowballing. Then the I get to that triggers your mind, and you might not know it, you might not feel it, but that triggers something in the mind, and now you start looking at other things positively, and then all of a sudden it snowballs, and then all of a sudden you're almost that annoying positive person where everyone's like, complaining, and you can be the annoying positive person in the group. And man, like, why you always say I get to, like, we don't want, it's like, no, you get to, like, this is exciting, guys, so it's just it's slowly, and it's
Wow.
it's just with that one decision. You can make that one decision today to say I
Mhm.
get to.
Okay.
And then that changes. And now you just took a step forward. You got closer to your dreams. You got closer to your goals.
And I think the second thing I see is a lot of manifestation. Talk to us about it.
Yeah. And
What
that's
does that
that
mean?
goes right hand with the I get to, and the PMA, positive mental attitude. Everyone thinks that that's just in your brain, and they're like, oh well,
Yes.
you can't just sit there and imagine it and it's going to pop up in front of you. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's not. But that's where it starts. All your things start with your brain, with what you think. Again, say don't think about an elephant. And you think about an elephant. You just pictured an elephant. It doesn't hear don't,
Yes.
or I want it, I don't want it. It just hears that end thing. So again, know your goals. Really sit down and think about your goals. And everyone's like, oh well, I got a goal.
Mm.
And so it's like right now, like if I could put somebody on the spot and be like, well, what's your goal? Explain to me, as like you're explaining to a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, what is your goal? It's actually a lot harder than people think when you actually sit down and think about it. So really sit down and think about that goal. Think about what you want in life, what you want for others, what you want for yourself in life, and then start thinking about it. And it'll come quicker with positive attitude. It'll come quicker with those manifestations, with the prayer. It comes quicker in those, and then all of a sudden God starts
Mm.
putting it in front of you. You don't know how you're going to get
Yes.
there. You don't know, and that's
Yes.
okay. You don't have to know how to get there, because he does. So it's, you just have to just boom and tell him and pray for it and thank him. Gratitude, thank him for it. Don't
Yes.
always ask him
Yes.
for stuff. Thank him for it like you already have it.
Come on.
From everything. Thank you for this. Thank you. I've already made it. I'm speaking in front of tens of thousands of people. I'm saving lives. Thank you. Be grateful for what you want, and you already have it. At that point, if you're doing that, you got it. I thank you for making me sober. Thank you for bringing me out of
Mm,
this
mm, mm.
darkest places. And then you already start feeling better. I'm already, so go ahead and try that. Everyone right now, just try that. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me out of this depressed day, and thank you for making me have a great day. Thank you for having me have a great day now. And you're taking steps. You're already there.
That is so cool. Man, sounds like we are coming from the same pod, my friend.
Yes.
See if he's in a pod. That's awesome. That there's a saying, I don't know if you know about this. It says gratitude is the signature of things have already passed. Dr. Joe
Well,
Dispenza.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love
so
that.
you just
I
talked
love
about
that.
it. Yes, that is so true. And I know we're wrapping up. So, my gosh, time flew, huh? I had a good
Yes.
time with you, Christian. It's
I
so
love it. I love
awesome.
it.
And so, what would you love to leave the audience with your closing thoughts, and anything you want to share, a story, or just anything you want to close out for those that feel like it sounds like it's too good to be true? Like it sounds like, it's mind over matter.
For those that are to try it, just give it a try. What does it hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Try saying I get to. Try. And that's one thing too, is in my past I never really tried. Everything just came naturally to me. It was easy. I was you're last to show up at practice and first to leave practice, and I was still one of the best out on the field. And so just try it. Go ahead and try something new, because what you're doing right now, if you're in a position that you don't want to be in, isn't working. The
Mm-hmm.
decisions you are making right now aren't getting you to where you want to be. That's a hard pill to swallow, but swallow that pill and start working on, okay, well, I'm going to try something new today. I'm It's dumb. No, this the whole touching the wall and touching it. That doesn't. What's that? Does that really train your brain? Try it. Try it, and we'll see. Oh, I'm just gonna get down and do
Mm,
2 push-ups. What does 2 push-ups do for me? Well, in a week, you're gonna be doing 25, 30
come
push-ups.
on.
You know,
Wow.
so just try it. Say I get to. Say I get to sarcastically. Make fun of it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say, I get to do this. Yeah, yeah. By all means. But
Hmm.
it'll start building those small habits, and within a week, a month, 2 months, a couple days, you're gonna look back and you're gonna, whoa, I'm actually way further ahead than I thought I was gonna be just by doing these simple, simple little things. And then you can start trying the harder things, but start with the simple.
I get to.
I get to.
Yes.
I
I
get
get
to.
to.
Say it.
Oh,
You say it with a little
I
grit to it.
get
I
to with an
get to. I
attitude.
get
Okay.
to.
I had such a great time talking to Christian. I hope you guys love this interview. I hope that you guys feel so inspired with transformation today. We're seeing a walking live person who, like you said earlier, guys, the pictures were there, the car accident, the diagnosis that he would never walk again, and all this stuff, this limitations were put on him, and you're seeing someone that actually came out of it and he says, I get to. I get to.
That's right.
So
Right.
um, guys, book with him. I would book with him. He's going to be probably very busy, right, Christian? You're going to inspire so many people.
Sure. That's the
Um,
goal. That's the
to
goal.
share with our viewers before we leave, what engagements are you doing now that people have been just feeling inspired and transformed? What are those results right now with people?
Yeah. Mainly the dog dash events. Speaking at that, I love it. I've had so many people come up to me and they're just in tears, and then they share their stories of how their dog
Wow.
has helped them, and that's huge. That's fulfilling for me. I've talked to a handful of high school classes and been able to connect with them. Podcasts, and we're scheduling up some more in-person events, and we're getting out there doing that as well.
Well, guys, hit the subscribe, like, and DM us. DM I get to if
That's
you
right.
loved
That's right.
this message and resonated. All right, guys, we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.